He is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Omarova, you've spent your career coming up with proposals that are designed to radically transform America's financial sector, even though America's financial markets are the envy of the free world. So your nomination to a senior government role underscores that President Biden and the Democrats are driving America full speed down the collapse road toward socialism. I have some basic questions to ask you, Dr. Omarova. Do you accept the basic economic principles of supply and demand? A yes or no answer will be fine.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. In general, when something costs more, all else being equal, do people tend to buy less of it? Again, a yes or no answer would be fine.
It's hard to tell.
When something costs more, all else being equal, do people tend to buy less of it?
If it is something without which you cannot survive, or if your child needs it, you're going to pay whatever you have to pay.
I think that the design of the administration here is pretty clear. When President Biden was elected, regular gas cost an average across the United States $2.10 a gallon. Now, the price has been driven up to $3.40 a gallon on average across the United States. In many places, it's much more expensive, and those prices are rising. Again, putting pressure on people's ability to purchase gasoline, to purchase fuel. Dr. Omarova, do you think that higher gas prices are good for America or bad for America? Yes or no answer would be fine there.
Senator, that's a tricky question because I do remember
Are
Hurricane Katrina.
higher gas prices good for America or bad for America, Doctor?
It's probably bad for America. It's not my expertise. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking.
Mr. Chairman, I'd let the record reflect that this witness is having a hard time acknowledging that higher gas prices are bad for America. Last week, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki stated that the Biden administration's view is that the rise in prices that we're seeing in gas over the long term make an even stronger case for doubling down on our investment and our focus on clean energy options. Do you agree with her statement? Yes or no will be fine.
Excuse me, what is the statement that you're asking?
Her statement is that higher gas prices, these rising gas prices, actually help justify the investments that the Biden administration want to make in green energy. Do you agree with that?
Senator, I cannot say yes or no with respect to agreeing with a statement or the context of which I'm not familiar with.
Well, let me say this, that many folks that are advocates, as you seem to be, of the green energy program that we're talking about, suggest that higher gas prices do support the cost justification for green investment. Now, you've already said that, or at least have had some difficulty, but I think you think that higher gas prices are bad for America. Yet there's a belief that higher gas prices help cost justify investment in the Green New Deal. And my colleagues have brought out the fact that you've talked about wanting to bankrupt the oil and gas industry in order to help you achieve your green dreams, and higher gas prices help justify that pursuit. So I'm trying to understand, Dr. Omarova, which would be the priority? Do you want lower gas prices, which would help prevent Americans from going bankrupt, or do you want to use the authority of the OCC, of the Comptroller, to bankrupt oil and gas industries, as you stated in the past?
Senator, I have never stated that the OCC should use the powers of the bank regulator to bankrupt oil and gas companies.
I'm going to come back to your statement. You said that, I'm going to come back to an exact quote. I think Senator Crapo read this earlier, that a lot of the smaller players in the coal, the oil, the gas industries are going to probably go bankrupt in short order. At least we want them to go bankrupt if we want to tackle climate change. This is very disturbing. I would say this, Americans are really hurting because of rising gas prices. Yet the Biden administration has taken step after step to destroy the oil and gas industry in America. They've destroyed our energy independence. They've killed pipeline projects. They're using regulatory authority to make it far more difficult to explore new oil and gas. And gas prices are going up dramatically as a result. And now we're talking about doubling down on this and putting someone into a position that can actually utilize the oversight of our financial system to cancel America's individual businesses. I want to come back to something that you said in the past. In a May interview, you were asked, how do you stop carbon financing? How do you make sure that existing financial systems and private asset managers don't continue to lend to carbon activities? How do you not have carbon financing leakages? That was the question that was put to you, Doctor. Did you answer, and I quote, "I completely agree with you. The way we get basically rid of those carbon financiers is that we starve them of their sources of capital." Again, did you say that?
Senator, this was meant, when I said we, I meant we as private investors, as free actors in the free market economy. As an investor, I have a right to choose where I put my money, and that was the context in which I said
That
any of
underscores
those
your
things.
viewpoint. I believe this happened just in May that you made that statement. Dr. Omarova, President Biden and the Democrats are talking about putting you in charge of an army of 2,400 bank examiners with a war chest of $1 billion. I want to ask you a simple yes/no question again. Are you familiar with Operation Choke Point?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you would be. To explain it to everybody else, Operation Choke Point was a program in which government officials intimidated banks to stop lending to lawful American businesses that Democrats didn't like. It was called Operation Choke Point because the government abused its authority to try to choke off the financial oxygen from those targeted lawful businesses. I hope my Democrat colleagues fully understand why someone who cheers bankrupting law-abiding American businesses by starving them of capital, businesses that just happen to be out of political favor at the time, that's breathtakingly disturbing, especially given the position of responsibility that we're talking about Dr. Omarova potentially taking. Millions of American livelihoods depend on oil and gas jobs. Gas prices are soaring right now. It isn't even winter, and the Biden administration wants to cut American oil and gas. This is bad for
Senator's
national
time's
security.
way over. If you care to answer quickly, you may. Again.
Senator, I actually agree with you. Oil and gas industry is a very important part of the American economy. If confirmed as the comptroller, I have absolutely no intention of using the powers of that office to force banks to stop lending to oil and gas companies. I have never said that. The one unfortunately phrased sentence, I tried to explain what I was trying to say there. But I completely agree with you, and I agree with your indignation. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Senator Van Hollen is recognized.